will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. Only the committee members will be participating by video. Any registered participants will be participating by audio only. We ask that you also mute your devices until you are called on to speak. To ensure audio clarity, I also suggest that you refrain from using the speakerphone function on your telephones. We acknowledge that the land we are meeting is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto was covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. In accordance with Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto was called to order. My name is Alan Smithies and I will chair today's meeting. Joining us on the panel today are Ron Hunt, Asif Khan, Paul Kidd, and Nadini Sankar Peralta. City staff are also present: Daniel Antonacci, Brendan Clapp, and Jenny Kotas. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning bylaw that apply to property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. Anyone attending today who wants to receive a copy of the committee's decision on an application must submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address because Committee of Adjustment and the TLAB will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, decisions may be appealed to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, TLAB, or in some limited circumstances to the Local Planning Appeal Tribunal, LPAT. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the committee's decision. The hearing procedure is as follows. I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant will proceed with their presentation if required. The committee may ask questions and or take the matter into the committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant or agent, is given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you are reaching the 5-minute limit. When addressing the committee, please state clearly your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters described in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee of the application. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposals at the hearing today. To ensure that a revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice of the application are informed of the changes, the committee may decide to defer the application if it is substantially revised. Then, individuals either in support or opposed to the application are invited to speak. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This marks the end of discussion on the item. The application is taken into committee for a decision. Ladies and gentlemen, we have minutes from a previous meeting to adopt, and that was the meeting of the 23rd of July, 2020. If I could get a motion, either from Mr. Hunt or Ms. Sankar, just to adopt those minutes because they were at that meeting. Mr. Hunt? Mr. Hunt moves a motion to adopt. Someone to second that motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion is carried and those minutes are adopted. Are there any committee members here today who have a conflict of interest they'd like to declare? None? Oh, Mr. Kidd?
Mr. Chair, interest in item 8, acquainted with the agent.
Just a moment. Item number which?
Item number 8.
Okay. 163 Lee Crest?
163 Lee Crest Road.
Thank you, Mr. Kidd. Mr. Secretary Treasurer, we don't have any items to close. Okay, thank you. We'll now proceed to our agenda. We'll start with our first item on the agenda, which is 319 Melrose Avenue. And I have one person registered to speak, a Mr. Marco Vera, who is the agent. Sir, are you there?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee.
Yes,
It's
thank you,
Marco
Mr. Vera.
Vieira here.
Yes, before we start, sir, I just wanted to ask, have you had an opportunity to, there are a number of memoranda here from staff. Have you had the opportunity to review the recommended conditions from the Engineering and Construction Division in their report of the 19th of June, 2020?
Yes, we have, and we are fine.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're back online. Sorry for the technical problems. Mr. Summer, are you still there?
I am.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Summer. I'm sorry about that. If you can still proceed with your comments.
Yes, I was gratified to hear that the city had recommended against the 3 stories. And the 3 stories makes it practically look like an apartment building in a residential neighborhood, particularly with its design. It changes the character of the neighborhood. I'm concerned about the constant erosion of the bylaw and the intent of the planning laws. So I strongly recommend that the height be rejected. I'm referring to item 3, I believe it is, on the requested variances. And then also the deck, that's item 5 on the requested variances. The maximum area of the deck is really large. And if you've seen the letter that I put in, the deck area is about 50%. It's 42.75% larger than the allowed deck area, than the permitted area. And the homes are so close together that having a deck of that size really intrudes on the neighbors. So I strongly recommend that part of the variance be rejected.
Okay. Sir, can I ask you a question? With
Sure.
respect to, is the issue that you have more with the design of the building than with the actual variances themselves? It's a flat roof building, which is not a usual design on this street. Most of the street has been rebuilt. And many of the streets, when I was there, I looked at number 73, for example, which if it wasn't for the fact that it had a mansard style roof, it would be very similar in design to what this person's proposing, except what this person's proposing is a more contemporary, modern design with a flat roof. Is it the flat roof, modern design that you object to?
No, it's not the design. I don't think it's a favorable design for the neighborhood. It's different. As you said, there's one at 73. But this one is even higher than the one at 73. And more importantly, the height of the building,
Okay, thank you.
there's a
Questions?
constant of the bylaw and it's getting higher and higher. I'm sorry?
Okay. Okay.
And the area, the deck area is really massive. As I said, it's a 50% increase. And when it comes to the height, if I might just point out in the letter that I filed, I might just point out that the height is 33.6% of an increase in the allowable height under the bylaw. That's a third.
And sir, you understand if it wasn't for the fact that it was a flat roof building, the height would comply with the bylaw?
I understand that.
Okay, thank you. Is there any further questions of the speaker? Okay, we'll go back to Mr. Malek. Sir, are you there? You have the opportunity to rebut the comments made by the previous speaker.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the comments from neighbor, and I believe I read the letter that he submitted. I understand that they are, I mean, he's living, Mr. Sommer, living on Joycey, and the impact of what we're proposing is there is no impact on the vision and his property. But I'm just generally to explain again, the house that we're proposing generally is a 2-story for the 90% with a flat roof. You're comparing it with the 73 Dumb Lane. The situation on 73 Dumb Lane was that they're using down a slope driveway, so they were able to lower the height of the building by down a slope, which is no longer permitted in Toronto. So if they were actually building the garage in level of the ground, they should have the same height that we are proposing, which is less than a 9 meter. The impact of the additional height is in the front of the house. There is no impact to the back. And he mentioned about the deck at the back. Because of the definition of the 3-story that is caused by that additional study room over the entrance, the deck is counted as a 2nd-story platform and is over the limited of permitted bylaw. But as a deck, we are not exceeding the measurement and height of the proposed deck. So this is just a definition, and then is a very technical variance for that deck. Again, I would like to say, as you mentioned, the area is completely under development. Our office especially has many projects in the area, and then the concept that we're proposing, it was already in place in the area, and then we have received a number of the approval from this committee before, and then we think this is very reasonable proposal for this location. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of the speaker? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Malik, my question is related to variance number 2 and number 6, which you have rectified or modified from 9.62 to 9.32 and 10.07 to 9.71. But sir, my question is that you are still much more than the allowable limits. In variance number 2, you are allowed 7.2 meters, and in variance number 6, you are allowed 8.0 meter, and your reduction or modification is still high. So what is your explanation?
Mr. Khan, the 7.2 meters for the maximum height requirement under the new bylaw for the flat roof, as we know, is already very low for the two-story building over the garage. Since city is not allowing any downslope garage, as I mentioned, which property number 73, they have it. So building two-story above the garage with the flat roof is automatically bring the height over the 7.2 meters. I think this is something that's why this variance or this requirement is still under appeal, and still a need to adjust it. With the two-story above the garage, we cannot achieve the 7.2 meters. It's always going to be a variance, but to just explain that justification, we are not 9.32 meters for the overall height of the building. Only 25% of our roof line is going to be in that height. The rest of the roof is less than a 9 meter, and then it's aligned with the previous approval of this committee in number of the project, especially the project that we did in our office, not the other. So to answer your question again, having a story above the garage with the flat roof, there is no way we can justify our height to the 7.2 meters.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any further questions of the speaker?
Mr.
Mr.
Chair,
Kidd?
I was just curious if you discussed the amendments you made to these variances with the planning department.
I talked to the planner about this, but I had to get the approval and agreement from the owner. So I wasn't able to finalize that in a timeline of providing the revised drawing. So that decision was made yesterday. We actually had a discussion with the number 68 Dunblane, the next door neighbor. They actually approved the supporting our application. They didn't want to do the writing, but one of our discussion with them, that was a reduction of the height in that limit. So yes, I discussed that originally, but there was not time to make this one as the document and then submit it to the city, but it was discussed.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions of the speaker? Mr. Hunt?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like a little further specific clarification of the point that Mr. Khan addressed in terms of the registered owner. Notwithstanding that there was an agreement for sale entered into, and the transfer of title would be conditional on the probate of
Mr. Hunt, that's not part of the application. Do you have a question on the variances that he's requesting?
Oh, okay. Then I'm just reading from a document that was circulated to us, and
Yeah, well,
that's fine.
We don't have any jurisdictions over matters of title. So in terms of, I can appreciate your comment in that regard, but really it's nothing we can do about it. It's not within our jurisdictional purview. So if there's another question on the other variances, I'd be certainly
No.
glad to hear. Okay, thank you. No
No.
further questions. If I could get a motion on this application, please, Ms. Sankar. On the revised
I'm
application.
muting myself here. Thank you. Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. You know, I can understand the difficulty in this application and hearing from the, you know, the neighbors on near to the property and seeing that one right next to the property had written in as well at number 70, number 72, sorry. I just wanted to say that I think that the explanations provided by the applicant here today resonates with me. I can see, you know, some of the technical difficulties and where that may have come into play to set off other variances accordingly. And I do appreciate the effort that they made in reducing this application to what it is right now. So I'm going to put forward a motion to approve this application. It's going to be subject to the changes made by the applicant here today, such that variance number 2 has been decreased to, I'm just pulling up my comment here, 9.32 meters. That variance number 6 has been also reduced to 9.71 meters. Variance number 7 has been removed, and this will be subject to forestry.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion? That motion does not carry. Can I get another motion? Mr. Kidd?
Mr. Chair, I feel that the amendments made to the application don't really satisfy my concerns with regard to the application and to the comments of the city planning staff. I'd like to put forward a motion to refuse the application on that basis.
Someone to second Mr. Kidd's motion? Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, we have a tie vote, so I'll vote on this. I've also listened to the comments that the applicant has made, as well as the neighbor, as well as Mr. Summer, and I want to thank you for making the call in. I've been out to see the site, and I have to admit, I think I can understand people's concern with the architecture of the building, which I think is more of a concern than the actual variances themselves. But it's a contemporary design, and it will fit in with the street, and I certainly agree with the comments that Ms. Sankar has indicated. So I'm going to move Ms. Sankar's motion, and I'm going to be in favor of the application. So if I could get a motion to approve the application, I need a new motion to approve the application. I need a new motion. The Secretary Treasurer says I need a new motion. Thank you very much. Ms. Sankar?
Okay, seeing that motion failed to refuse, I'll make another motion, and my motion stands as before to approve this application with the changes that were made by the applicant here today, which is, do I need to repeat them again?
No, you don't need to restate them. Okay, someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion? Mr. Hunt, you had supported the motion before. Are you going to support it this time? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, Mr. Chair, I remain opposed to the motion.
Okay,
Is there something that
I-
you'd like me to change? Because you don't want to refuse it, but is there a medium that you were thinking of amending one
hang on
or
just a moment,
item?
Ms. Sinkar. Mr. Hunt, you didn't vote either. You didn't vote on either one. So you voted to support previously. to
Mr.
support
Chairman,
Ms.
he
Sankar's
never,
motion.
Mr. Chairman, he never supported the motion.
Okay,
There was a motion to approve by Ms. Sankar. There was no second to the motion.
yeah, no second to the
No.
motion.
So now we need a new motion. So Mr. Hunt, are you willing to make a motion? Because you're not supporting refusal, you're not supporting approval.
No, well, my motion would be, given that the changes are not significant and there's been a recommendation to refuse, I would move a motion to defer sine die and allow the applicant to go back and discuss it with the planning department.
Mr. Hunt, the applicant hasn't indicated a desire to go back to discuss with city planning on the application. I think he's made his case here. I think we need to vote on it, yes or no.
Okay.
So if I could
I'll
get a
vote against it.
Then Ms. Sankar's motion didn't pass. Ms. Sankar's motion to approve didn't pass. If I could get another motion, please.
Well, I would move that based on the evidence that we have been given, I would recommend refusal of the application.
Someone to second Mr. Hunt's motion. Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? Okay. Sir, your application has been refused with Ms. Sankar dissenting. Okay, thank you. We're on item number 5, 462 Saint Germain Avenue. I have 2 people registered to speak. One is the agent, Mr. Boros. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I am, Mr. Chair.
Have you, sir, I just wanted to ask before we start, have you seen the 14th of September report from city planning, which indicates?
Yes, so Mr. Chair, I would ask for a deferral. I have spoken to the planner on the item. There was a particular one variance that was missed.
Oh, I see.
And so as such, I believe I'm actually slated for the next committee.
Well,
So
Sir, if we
at
have
this time,
Sir, if we have to delete it, it will be deleted until the next, it will be deferred until the next available agenda. So.
yes, thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Now, I'm just going to ask, there is one person registered to speak on this item. I'm just going to see what their opinion is on deferring the application. We have one, Ms. Anka, and I can't pronounce the last name. I'll spell it out, P-U-I-U. Are you there? Hello, are you there, Anka?
Yes, I am.
Yes, madam, the applicant has indicated that he needs to defer his application because he's been advised that he's missing a variance. So I just want.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I wish I had known about it, but because he's deferring and we're here and I've waited for about an hour and a half, is it possible for me to explain what my concerns
no,
are?
madam, if the applicant has to defer the application, there'll be a new application coming forward. It would be, there's no point for you to make any comment because it would be redundant. So
I am directly affected. I am the next door neighbor. Will I be informed?
Understood, madam, but what's going to happen is the application is deferred. The variances will be corrected and you will be circulated a new notice with a new hearing date.
Okay. As
So
long as I will be kept in the loop and I will have a chance to review.
You will have a chance then to state your, it will essentially be a new application. Okay.
Okay. And I just want to make an observation to the person.
Madam, it doesn't matter to us if you make that comment now. The applicant's requested a deferral.
No. there was an error in that I hope will be corrected next time. That's fine.
That's
In
right.
what was submitted.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Thank you. Mr. Boros, so you're still requesting the deferral. I'll get a motion from the committee on your request for a deferral. Can I get a motion on the deferral, please? Ms. Sankar?
Mr. Chair, through you, I'll motion to defer this application sine die to give the applicant a chance to correct some of the variances that they'd like to add.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion? Mr. Kidd, are you in favor? Oh, I didn't, okay. Oh, okay, Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries. Sir, your application has been deferred till the next available agenda so that you can meet with the building division and correct your variances.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee.
Thank you. We're now on item number 6, 492 Fairlawn Avenue. I have one person registered to speak. That's a Mr. Lebratch. He's the agent. Sir, are you there?
I am.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to ask if you've had the opportunity to read the city planning report of the 14th of September, which indicates that they didn't appear to have any objections to your application, provided that you provide a permanent opaque screen or fence along the east edge of the proposed rear deck with a minimum height of 1.5 meters from the floor. Have you had the opportunity to read that report?
Yes, I have, and we have no issue with that.
Okay, thank you, sir. It's very clear what you're asking for in the 4 variances we have before us. We have no other persons of interest expressing an interest on this item. So if, does the committee have any questions or comments on the application? Ms. Sankar?
Just a quick one. I'd like you to just sort of explain to me about variance number 1. From 30% of lot area, the proposed coverage is now going up over 5%. Can you explain why that is?
Yeah, the proposals for a 2-story home with very minor variance requests, and when you do the math and you, I submitted to the committee an area map showing an array, I think over 52 decisions, where it's very common to have a coverage around this number. And it just so happens that that is the number that comes out when you propose a square footage of a home like this. I spoke to planning about it, and of course the other variances, she really did not have any concern about that, also noting that it was very common to have that kind of coverage.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Sankar, did you get your question answered? My apologies to the committee. I had indicated, and to you, sir, I had indicated that the wrong report from city planning. The report from city planning was dated the 14th of September, and that they were okay with the application, and they were, but they were recommending that if it's approved, the property be developed substantially in accordance with the front and east side elevation drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment and attached to their report. So my apologies for that. If I could, is there any other questions of the speaker?
No, I was familiar with that report, and I didn't recall the screen condition, and worried. I was concerned that I missed that, but I nonetheless we read it.
There was the staff report didn't make any mentioning of screening. That was I made reference to to the report from the previous application. That's my mistake.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're aware of the tying it to the drawings as proposed. Okay. Yes.
Thank you, sir. If I could get a motion on this application, please note that there are no other persons registered to speak on this item. Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to take the recommendation that the staff and move this proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the south and east side elevations drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment and attachment number 1 and 2 to this report.
Okay, thank you, sir. Someone to second Mr. Khan's motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? Sir, your application, that motion carries. Sir, your application is unanimously approved, subject to city planning conditions.
Thanks to the committee today. Have a
Thank
good
you
day.
very much. Item number 7, 483 Lawrence Avenue West. I have one person registered to speak. That is the agent. A Mr. Dales, are you there, sir?
Yes, I am. Good morning, Mr. Chair and committee.
Yes, I wanted to ask, sir, have you had the opportunity to, there's a couple of reports here, one from city planning dated the 14th of September, indicating that they didn't appear to have any objections to your proposal, but they were recommending that there be no commercial boulevard parking permitted along the Lawrence Avenue West frontage of your property. Have you had the opportunity to review that report?
I have, and the owner is fine with that condition.
Okay, have you had the opportunity to read the Transportation Services report?
I have, and so I'll let you know that we've made
just
some.
let me start, sir. They were recommending a deferral because
Yes.
they wanted changes to your site plan. Now, did you
Right,
want
so
to defer the application?
No, we've actually made those changes, and we ran those changes by the zoning examiner. It appears that variances, given the changes to the plans that are now on the Application Information Center, variances 3 and 5 are no longer required. They should be, they can be deleted. We've revised the site plan to address the width of the parking spaces that are adjacent to the fence, and we've added an accessible parking space. So those two items, 3 and 5 in the public hearing notice, are no longer required. So a deferral should not be necessary because the items addressed in the Transportation Services report have been addressed on the site plan and confirmed by the zoning examiner that those variances aren't required.
Okay, sir, can I ask, we don't have any plans that indicate that those changes have been made.
I think they are on the Application Information Center. I think they're dated. Hold on.
Okay.
I can go to the
Material that
application
was sent to us don't indicate a disabled parking space.
Okay, let me, one moment. I've got the, I'm just gonna go to the, I checked yesterday and my understanding is that they were posted. The correct drawing is now posted. So let me just go there. Here we go. Yeah, the plans, I'm just opening it up. Yes, so the plans that are on the Application Information Center dated October 1st is the posting date. Do indicate that that accessible parking space is at the south west corner of the building. And you'll see that there's some dimensions on the parking spaces at the south end of the property. And sorry,
sir, well, which one is if you provide a properly sized disabled parking space, which has to be a minimum of, I think, 14 feet wide, that's going to eliminate a parking space, which will probably affect the variances.
No, so we don't have a parking supply variance. There was some room there was some room at the east side of the property, because we couldn't fit another parking space in there. So there was some room to shift everything over and meet that minimum requirement, that minimum width.
Sir, I don't want to get into a site plan design exercise here. This should have been worked out before you came here. So
well, I thought we were working it out.
You say you've made the changes. If you've made the changes that might affect your site plan, that's a risk you're going to have to take.
Understood. So we don't need variances 3 and 5 anymore.
Okay, I'll just
I conferred that with the zoning examiner.
It's pretty clear what you're asking for in your variances. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or it would like a presentation. Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Dales, I have few questions, and I think I will take you back to variance number 1, 2, 4, and 5. You are suggesting you are taking number 5 out, means you are eliminating this one?
Yes, 1 second. So we are eliminating variances 3 and 5.
Okay, so
Okay, just
let's back up a second. Sir, are you proposing to modify your application?
By removing 2 variances.
Okay, well, you have to tell the committee you're proposing to do that. So can you tell
Right.
me, what variances you're modifying?
Mr. Chairman, the applicant's already told us that variance number 3 and 5 are being removed. He's told us twice already. How many more times do we need him to repeat the same?
Okay, so you're deleting variances number 3 and 5?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any further questions of the speaker?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'm still pursuing, with your permission, variance number 1, 2, and 4.
Yes.
Mr. Dale, no, I'm taking number 1. And number 1, you are with 0 rear yard soft landing. And number 2, you are asking 10 parking spaces when there's allowances only for 2. And number 4, the proposal is not permissible in the residential zone. How do you justify?
So number 1, in terms of the 2 variances you mentioned, number 1, so I'll address the variances. Well, number 1, so that's maintaining existing conditions. So this is a property on a main street with a parking lot at the rear. It's currently used as it's a house form building, but it's currently an office building. There's currently a parking lot at the rear of the property. There's currently no soft landscaping at all at the rear of the property. So this is more of a technical variance in that we're going to be maintaining existing condition. Number 2, community planning requested that we make some landscape improvements at the front of the property, and you'll see that in their staff report. So that item also, in terms of maintaining the existing condition, is addressed in the report from community planning, and they're fine with that variance, given that it's maintaining existing condition. And they also asked us for some landscape improvements at the front of the property that we did make, and that is these landscape improvements at the front are shown on the site plan that's posted on the application information center.
Thank you.
And in terms of so I'll just go to variance number 2. That's actually not a parking space supply issue. The rule is, because it's a residential multiple zone, which it shouldn't be because it doesn't conform to the official plan designation. There's a maximum of 2 parking spaces permitted at the rear of the property. So it's the number of parking spaces at the rear of the property rather than a parking supply issue. We don't need a variance for parking supply. So and it's also, again, maintaining existing condition. There's an existing parking lot at the rear of the property, and we're proposing to maintain it.
Okay, thank you, sir. So
you're welcome.
If I could get any further questions of the speaker, Ms. Sankar?
Just a quick one. I hear everything you're saying. That's absolutely great. I just want to double check one thing. If I were to put no commercial boulevard parking permitted on the site, which is what planning recommends, and you said at the beginning that you would be okay with that, that would not impede in any way. I just want to make sure it would not impede on the variances that you have eliminated, which is 3 and 5. Would that still be allowed in the motion?
Yes, absolutely. So there's no impact from that recommended condition from community planning. There's no impact at all on the variances. We're happy to relinquish whatever boulevard parking is there today, and we're happy to have that be a condition moving forward. So yeah, that's perfectly fine. And in fact, my understanding is that the landscape improvements that are now showing on the plan are a significant improvement over the existing conditions. So yeah, we're perfectly happy with that condition from community planning.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Chair, I'm ready for a motion if no one else wants to
Okay,
ask any questions.
thank you.
Okay, so I'll make a motion then. And my motion is, and based on
Just
what
a
the
moment, Ms.
applicant.
Sankar, just remember that we're dealing with the revised application, so variances number 3 and 5 have been deleted.
Absolutely, yes, sir. So I'm going to make a motion to approve this application. And my approval rests on the fact that the applicant has made changes. I believe he submitted it. We didn't have it in front of us, but by eliminating variances 3 and 5 at the applicant's request, to me, that satisfies transportation's concerns. So I will motion to approve this application. We will be, that motion will be predicated on eliminating variances 3 and 5. And also I will be making this subject to the staff report of September 14th, which is that there will be no commercial boulevard parking permitted on the site. And that's my motion.
Someone to second that motion, please. Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Mr. Khan dissenting. Sir, your application has been approved subject to city planning conditions. Thank you your revised application has been approved subject to city planning conditions.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you. We're now on item number 8, which is 163 Lee Crest Road. Mr. Kidd, you have a conflict. Okay, we're on item number 8, 163 Lee Crest. I have 3 people registered to speak. 3 people registered to speak. The agent is a Mr. Higgins.
I'm here.
Are you there?
Mr. Chairman?
Okay.
I am, sir.
Just going to ask, you have one variance before us, but we still have 2 people here registered to speak. So if you could give us a very brief presentation on what you see as the merits of your proposal, please.
Most certainly. Thank you very much. This project is underway. It's being built. I think they're up to the main floor walls. We lost about 3 months due to COVID in terms of in terms of getting a building permit. We had originally planned to go to Committee of Adjustment, and we decided not to because we needed to get a hole in the ground. So we decided to go for the one and only variance that we have to committee after we got started. And that is for a deck at the rear of the property. And the reason for the deck is because there is a substantial cross-sectional change from the front of the house to the rear. It is the start of a ravine, and we end up having a clear walkout from the basement, but there is no tableland whatsoever to have any kind of amenity space at the main floor level, barbecue, dining, etc. So we are proposing this deck, which we do have letters of no objection or emails of no objection from 154, 156, and most importantly, the immediate neighbor to the north at 165. I understand that there's some concern from the neighbor at 161 who is to the south, and we'd certainly be happy to talk about that. So there's my proposal. It's all based on the topography of the lot and not being able to have an amenity space at ground level for this growing family of 4 unless we build a deck.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any questions of the speaker? There being none, we'll move on to our registered speakers. I have a Mr. Norm Sperry. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Sperry, can I get your name and address, please?
Yeah, Norm Sperry, S-P-A-R-R-E-Y, at 161 Lee Crest Road.
Okay, could I get if you could please give us your comments on this application, please?
Yeah, okay. I've got something written here. Prior to the start of construction, we had a brief meeting with the owner, the builder, and the architect. At that time, we were discussing our property. Would it be protected during the digging and construction? The builder was most helpful. At the end of the conversation, the owner said there was an addition to the plan and referenced the terrace. We do not remember any mention of a variance being needed. And considering that this terrace, the size of it was definitely being planned for outdoor dining, we are happy with the big space that will be hopefully frequently used. What surprised us was that the terrace was not in the original plans, since the rear of the house is all glass and you would expect it to be lead somewhere. We truly learned of the height, and that's our concern, when we received the request for variance. We should have realized on our own how high it would have to be to allow its entrance and exit from the main floor. We are concerned about the precedence that this sets for all properties north of 163 Lee Crest on the Crescent, as the next three properties all have large slopes leading to the ravine. We are concerned about the neighbors. Would it not be more appropriate to tier the terrace so it's not as high as it's planned? We understand there will be a screen at the end of the terrace facing 165 Lee Crest in order to give some semblance of privacy. In a letter yesterday, the owner said there would be trees or shrubs planted to afford us privacy at 161. Are such measures going to be mandatory as part of the granting of a variance, and who will ensure that they happen? We have been good neighbors and very supportive of the crew working next door, as they have been very considerate of us. We hope this can be resolved in a neighborly fashion. Okay. Just as clarification, last thing, if this variance is approved, can all the properties facing the ravine then put elevated decks at the rear of their properties as long as there's no removal of trees? Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, sir. Any questions of the speaker? There being none, we'll move to the next speaker. Deborah Lucas, are you there, madam?
I am. I should not be. My agent is representing us.
Yes, Ms. Lucas, can I get your full name and address, please?
Deborah Lucas, I'm the owner, and I believe Mr. Higgins is representing us, so I do not need to speak.
Okay, no, Mr. Higgins will speak for you. You're the owner. Okay,
yes.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I'll go back to Mr. Higgins. You've had the opportunity to hear the comments from Mr. Sperry. Could you please reply to those comments, please?
I'm happy to, if the committee would please put on the screen the site plan, and then following that, the cross-section through the property west to east, which shows the drop-off. All right, now, if I may speak to the site plan, the proposed, thank you, if you could blow it up just a little bit. The proposed deck is 4 meters deep, as opposed to the allowable 2.5 meters. 2.5 meters, or about 8 feet, is not enough to properly gather as a family group. And as I said earlier, and you would see it on the cross-section, the basement is essentially a straight walkout. The reason for not lowering the deck is because it would obliterate the ability to walk out from the basement. There is no one at the rear of the property. It is the CPR train tracks and the Leaside Curling Club, so there's no effect there. We do have no objection from the neighbor immediately to the north, who of course is much closer to this proposed deck than the gentleman who just spoke at 171. So that screen will provide privacy from both properties. My client did, in an email recently, suggest that planting, if we can go back to the site plan, please. The planting of trees or shrubs close to the mutual property line, which is the angled line at the bottom of the drawing, First of all, there are huge trees here that we have gone to great lengths to maintain, with shoring and with helical piers on the small rectangular section that is the closest to the neighbor at 161. That is all on piers because of the large protection zone, this being a cursory ravine. And those trees offer great privacy to both parties. If you were to stand on the deck where we're showing a little bit of a dining area and you looked due south, the dimension from that barbecue area to the mutual property line is over 14 meters or 46 feet. So that, together with the screens of the existing trees and any proposed planting that might work for the neighbor, is giving them lots and lots of privacy. My client's focus is straight out the back windows and doors over their proposed deck and into their large backyard. So just to reiterate, we can't tier the deck because we would lose the space below the deck, which is planned as a walkout from the basement. I'm sorry, if you could please show the section. I think that's the most important drawing. The side elevation showed the slope, but the section shows it better.
Is that drawing number A7 you're referring to, sir?
That would be, yeah, that's certainly not it. That's the front elevation, of course. I don't actually have that drawing handy. There we go. Thank you.
Okay.
So we did this after the fact to be able to show you the line of the existing lot grading, and you can see that it's virtually where the existing grading at the rear of the lot meets the terrace. It's right at the terrace level from the basement. The upper deck, or terrace as it's called here, is one step down from the main floor. So it affords us the usable space below and above, and you can imagine that the terrace wouldn't work.
20 seconds, sir. Can you summarize?
A step terrace would not work, as Norm Sperry was suggesting. This was discussed. I was at the meetings. Mr. Sperry and his wife have been great neighbors. They've been very supportive.
Okay,
We
sir,
worked
thank you.
out
Thank you.
all of the construction, and I'm happy to
Okay,
answer
thank
any
you, sir.
questions.
Yep.
Thank you.
Are there any questions of the speaker? No, Mr. Hunt?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just wondering, sir, if I don't see any screening proposed. Has there been any of screening that?
Mr. Hunt, you're breaking up. We're not getting you. We're not getting a good feed here.
How's that?
Okay, try now. Oh, we're losing. We can't hear you.
Testing.
We're not hearing you, Mr. Hunt. Ms. Sankar?
Perhaps I could summarize what I think Mr. Hunt was asking, which is that he didn't see on the plans the screening that was to the neighbor at 165, and wondered if that was already included, or is that something that we have to additionally request?
No, the screening is excuse me, it's Peter Higgins. The screening is shown on the site plan, the plan, and the side elevation. We did that because we knew that we were in close proximity to 165. So that is intended to be built. And I believe the staff report suggested that if it was approved, that we would have that screen. I could be wrong, but at the same time,
Sir,
there have been some.
Sir, there are
At
no
the same
staff
time, there-
comments on your application.
Okay, I'm getting mixed up. I have 7 committees today, so I'm a little bit mixed up with that one. But nevertheless, we do have a screen on the north side. We did not think a screen was warranted on the south side adjacent to 161, Mr. Sperry's property, because of the 14-meter separation and all of the trees. And the fact, as I mentioned, that the lookout is due east into the very large backyard of this property. It's not to the south.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions of the speaker? Can I get a motion on this application, please? Please note that there are no staff comments on this application. Ms. Sankar?
Through you, Mr. Chair. I want to say that we are in a public hearing, so that the applicant at 161, who was concerned whether the commentary that they've made about the trees separating, that will be, Mr. Higgins will be held accountable to making sure that those private agreements do get sustained. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to approve this application, knowing that the side of the neighbor 165, I believe it is, I think that's the north side, does have a screening barrier. And I'm going to motion to approve the application as is.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion. Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries. Sir, your application has been unanimously approved without condition. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. See you this afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Item number 9, Mr. Kidd, thank you. Item number 9, 193 Melrose Avenue. I have, just a moment here. I have 2 people registered to speak. One is the owner, Mr. Buzinski. Sir, are you there?
Yes, hi, I'm here.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. I just wanted to ask, have you had the opportunity to read the staff report of the 14th of September from City Planning?
That's right, yes, I have.
They're recommending that if we approve the application, that you use permeable materials for constructing the proposed driveway. You've had an
That's
opportunity to review that report?
Yes, I have, yes.
Okay, thank you. It's pretty clear what you're asking for in the 2 variances. You're redoing your driveway. I'm just going to ask if you would, pardon me, because there is someone here who has expressed interest on this item, if you could give us a very brief presentation on what you see as the merits of your proposal.
Okay, sure. So essentially, the current driveway is very curved and it's quite difficult to get out of the driveway. And it's just the proposal just aligns the driveway with our built-in garage, so it just goes straight out essentially. And I think there are some issues about landscaping area. I'd just like to clarify that the proposal actually increases the landscaping area. And that we do have a large catch basin at the front of the garage as well for drainage. So because of that, because we're essentially repaving half of the driveway, I would like to request that at least a proportion of the existing driveway that we repaving remain as asphalt.
So essentially what you're doing, sir,
There's a quick break.
Essentially, what you're doing, sir, is making the driveway perpendicular to the building and eliminating that circular type driveway.
Exactly, that's correct.
Thank you. I'll just ask the committee, does it have any questions of the speaker? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question is, I was just looking at the driveway. Sir, I didn't see the curb cut. How do you enter the driveway, from the side or what?
That's right. We're planning to actually apply I'll make a request for a curb cut that is straight out so the driveway is perpendicular.
I will ask the staff to put back the same picture that was before, please.
So on the picture, there's a curb cut. Are you referring to the existing one that's there right
No,
now?
I will bring back, okay. Thank you, staff, thank you. Sir, see the black driveway? Okay.
Oh, no, that's actually just, it's a little bit of wood chip that you see there. That's great.
Mr. Jacob, my question would be related to variance number 2. They are asking 75% and you are presenting 47.45%. Now,
that's right.
That is way short of 75. Is it because you have this extra extended driveway or what?
It's because we have a right of way on the other side in between the houses, and it has to remain as a right of way, so we can't encroach on that. And then essentially we are allowed just 2 strips of land in front of the main entrance. So then there's a driveway and then another strip of land on the other side. So the actual area is worse now. So the design actually improves the area of landscaping and softscaping. It's higher in the design than what we have currently.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions of the speaker? Okay, we have the next speaker registered to speak is Mr. Alex Sakuta. Are you there, sir?
I am there.
Yes,
Can you hear
sir.
me?
If you have the opportunity to let us know what your views are on this application.
Yeah, so I'm a representative of my parents who are at 195 Melrose, who's the adjacent house on the right, and I support the variance.
Okay, thank you very much. That's good to hear. Any questions of the speaker? There being none, go back to the applicant, sir. Pretty clear what the variances you're asking for. I'll just ask the committee if it has any further questions and if I could get a motion. Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to make my motion as recommended by the staff. The permeable materials are to be used for the proposed driveway.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Khan. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application has been unanimously approved, subject to city planning conditions.
All right,
Thank
great.
you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item number 10, 49 Geraldton Crescent. I have 2 people registered to speak. One is the agent. Mr. John Zeng, are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, Mr. Chair and committee members.
Okay, sir, if you could give us a very brief presentation on what you see as the merits of your proposal. I note, just to advise the committee, there are no recommended staff conditions on this application. So, sir, if you could give us a very brief presentation on what you see are the merits of the proposal.
I think there are total 4 items for minor variance today. And number 1 is for the proposed rear deck projects is 3.66 meter from the rear wall. But zoning bylaw required its maximum projection is 2.5 meter from the rear wall. And the number 2, the permitted maximum lot coverage is 30%, but the proposed lot coverage is 32.21% of the lot area. And the number 3 and number 4 is related to the old zoning bylaw because it's a different calculation method for the height of building. So the maximum permit building height for the old zoning bylaw is 8.8 meter, and the proposed building height is 9.48 meter. Number 4 is the maximum permitted finished first floor height is 1.5 meter, and the proposed one is 1.68 meter. This is based on the old zoning bylaw because it's calculated from the center of the street elevation, because there's a big difference of the center of street elevation between the center of the street elevation with the established grade, almost 1 meter difference. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any questions of the speaker? We have none. Our next speaker is a Mr. Edmund Wong. Are you there, sir?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Wong does not appear to be present.
Okay, thank you. That being the case, does the committee have any questions of the speaker? The variances he's asking for are very straightforward. There is no one else registered to speak on this item. If I could get a motion on the application, please. Mr. Kidd?
Mr. Chair, I feel the proposed variances are minor in nature and feel they meet the 4 tests for minor variance set out in the Planning Act. I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application.
Thank you, sir. Someone to second Mr. Kidd's motion? Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries, sir. Your application has been unanimously approved without condition. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a
you.
great day.
Item number 11, which is 39 Rippleton Road. I have one person registered to speak. That is the agent. There are no staff comments or recommended conditions. I'll just ask the sir, are you there? Mr. Shakiri?
Yes, sir.
Can I get your full
Yes,
name
sir.
and address, please?
It's Ali Shakiri, 326 Shepherd Avenue East.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. It's pretty clear what you're asking for. We have 4 variances before us. Pretty straightforward application. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments, or like whether it would like a presentation. No. Can I get a motion on this application, please?
Can I make the motion?
Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to make the motion. The variances are minor, blends the characteristics of the area and meets the zoning bylaws. Therefore, I will move to be approved.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously, sir. Your application has been unanimously approved without condition.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Item number 12, 100 Wembley Road. I have one person registered to speak. That is a Mr. Brad Abbott. Sir, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, sir, I just wanted to ask, have you had the opportunity to read the city planning report of the 14th of September? Staff is recommending that if committee approves the application, that you develop the property in accordance with the submitted site plan and the west side elevation drawings, pardon me. And the floor space index of the dwelling, excluding the basement floor, shall be no greater than about 0.76 times the area of the lot. You've had the opportunity to read that report?
Yes, I have.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll just ask the committee, the variance that the applicant is asking for are very straightforward. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments or would like a presentation. No, could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Taking the staff's recommendation, I would move that the property be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan and west side elevation drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment and attachment number 1 and 2 to this report. And number 2, the floor space index of the dwelling, excluding the basement floor, shall be no greater than approximately 0.76 times the area of the lot. And 3, comply with the forestry conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Someone to second Mr. Khan's motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously, sir. Your application has been unanimously approved, subject to city planning conditions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 14.
13.
Item number 13, I'm sorry. 50 Seton Park Road. Is I have one person registered to speak. Mr. Doifode, I hope I've got that right, sir.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Thank you very much. Have you had the opportunity to read the city planning report of the 29th of September? Staff is
Yes, sir.
indicating that if the committee approves the application, that there are modifications made to the application, apparently that you've agreed to, which was modify, I think, variance number 1 and eliminating variances number 3 and 4. Anyway, I'll let you get into that. They've also indicated that eliminating variances number 3 and 4 regarding the east side yard setback. Planning indicates that variances 1, 3, and 4 are misidentified and are not required. So if you could tell us if there's modifications you want to make to your application?
We are only requesting, like, there is a front yard door, what we have it on the front face of the building.
Sir, I'm having trouble hearing you. Can you turn off your speakerphone function?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, yeah, we have only one variance requested, which is basically on the front face of the building. There was a window and then the applicant provided the door there. That door, they're using it for the access to the basement, which they're going to use for their own purpose. So that's the only variance we are requesting. See,
Okay,
the side yard setback.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Just a moment here. I'm looking at the staff report.
Yeah.
It says, after discussions with Toronto Building and the applicant, has been determined that the following variances were misidentified and are not required for the application that is before the committee. That's variance number 1 and variances number 3 and 4. So what they're indicating is that there's only one variance that you actually need, which is variance number 2, which relates to the proposed exterior alteration, which relates to the
Alan, can you hear me now? Hello? Alan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hi, Ron. I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure what was happening there.
No, you're okay. You're okay. Loud and
Okay.
clear.
All right.
Mr. Clapp, are we back on? Okay, thank you. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. We're starting back on where we left off, which was 563 Deloraine Avenue. I had one person registered to, we've done 563 Deloraine. We're on item number 15, 42 Dinnick Crescent. I have one person registered to speak, a Gloria Apostolou, who apparently is the agent. Madam, are you there? Gloria Apostolou.
I'm here.
Yes, thank you, madam. You can hear us?
I am here.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask, you have one variance before us, and that's relating to floor space index. I'll just ask the committee, there is no one registered to speak on this item other than yourself. Just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments or would like a presentation. Mr. Khan?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would ask the madam one question, and at the same time, I will request the staff to put the page number 1. To show page number 1, please.
Mr. Khan, your question, the variance here is for the
my
floor
question-
space index. Well, what's your question?
Yes, sir. My question is related to floor space index. Variance number 1, yes.
You'd like a presentation?
No, sir, I don't want. I simply want to ask the lady that that floor space index they are asking is 0.465 times the lot area, which is a lot greater than the allowable of 0.35 into lot area. Now, how could she justify when the zoning bylaws do not permit her
Okay.
of 0.465?
Okay, thank you, madam. Madam, you've heard the question from Mr. Khan. He'd like to get your justification for the increase in the floor space index.
Yes, the existing floor space index without the addition is already.
Madam, we're having trouble hearing you.
Requirement.
Okay, to turn off your speakerphone function.
This is not the page I'm asking.
Okay.
I'm asking first page of variance.
Madam, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Can you give us what your justification is for your proposed floor space index?
Yes, the existing floor space index of the house without the addition is already 0.428 FSI of the lot area. The difference in what we are asking for, and you can see the area hatched in this drawing.
So, madam, we're
is
having
the shaded
trouble.
area on the.
Madam, we're having trouble hearing you. You sound like you're at the bottom of a tin can. Do you have other audio devices turned on? Can you turn them off, please? Just use your phone.
I'm not using my phone. Should I be using my phone? Do you need me to call in with the phone?
It's very. I have 2 people registered to speak. One is the agent, Carlos Gardezabal, I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Sir, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank
Can
you
you hear
very
me?
much, sir. I wanted to ask, have you had the opportunity to read the staff report, city planning report of the 29th of September, where they
Yes.
recommending that the proposed 1.22 meter west side yard setback be limited to the proposed garage as seen on the site plan drawing attached to their report? Have you had a chance to read that city planning report?
Yes, sir, I did.
And have you had the opportunity to read the Transportation Services report? Because they're recommending that your application be refused. Have you had the opportunity to read that report from Transportation Services?
No, I don't have a report for the transportation services. Basically, this is a crescent, and what I see, the requested variances are 4 of them.
Okay, now
one of them.
Sir, okay. I'll just read what Transportation said. It's very brief. Based on the site plan submitted, the width of the proposed driveway is 4.44 meters, which substantially exceeds this permitted maximum width of 3 meters, both on the private property and the public right-of-way. In addition, the existing carport has sufficient space for a legal parking space, but proposed demolition will decrease the dimensions of the parking space, which will result in a substandard space, and that's why they're recommending refusal.
Okay. To start with, basically, this dwelling has been built in 1964 under the zoning bylaw 7625. This is an existing carport that it will remain as it is. The only thing that I want to do is just to enclose it and extend it forward 1.4 meters. In regards of the transportation, the size, the width of the driveway is a non-fixed item, so that could be it could be adjusted to accommodate the city bylaws.
Okay, so I was out to see your property, so I think that what you're basically, like you said, you're just enclosing the carport. You're not really changing the driveway, are you?
That's correct. The driveway has been in there since 1964. So basically, I'm not doing anything with the driveway. Yeah, I'm not doing nothing with the driveway, though.
Okay, thank you. I'll just ask the committee, does it have any questions or comments or would like a presentation? We'll move to the next person on the list, which is Marie Deely. Are you there, madam?
Yes, I am.
Ms. Deely,
hello?
Can I get your full, yes, thank you, madam. Can I get your full name and address, please?
Yeah, it's Marie Deely. I live at 28 Clareville Crescent.
Thank you. Can I get your comments on this application, please?
Yes, I'm in reviewing the drawing that was sent, I'm concerned with the material that's going to be used to enclose this carport, because I'm very familiar with the neighbor who has in the past been hand sawing stones for a continuous amount of days, well past normal working hours. So I'm very, when I look at the drawing, I see again, he's going to be finishing the carport with stone. And that means he'll be hand cutting each individual stone.
Okay.
So my concern is, how long is this going to last?
Madam, the committee doesn't deal with construction issues. We're just dealing with the variances that we have before us. If you have comments on those with respect to issues of construction noise, you can deal with municipal licensing and standards on that, as well as the building division, but it's not dealt with by this committee. We can't offer you any guidance in that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I will ask the applicant. He's undoubtedly heard your comments, so he can respond to those. I'll just ask the committee. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, we'll go back to the applicant. Sir, are you there?
Yes,
Are
sir.
you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Hello?
you've
Yes, sir.
you heard just to assuage the neighbor, have you heard the comments from the previous speaker?
Yes, sir. The stones that will be used, there will be standards, and there will be no cutting other than if it is to be, 2 inches or 3 inches, but it will be a few cuts, and it will be on the regular hours listed by the municipality, just to assure that there no noise pollution to neighbors affected by the neighboring. So
Okay.
I will respect their opinion, and I will make sure that the noise affected in this construction will be to the minimum.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any questions of the speaker? Again, we have a recommendation for a refusal from Transportation Services. You've heard the applicant's views on that, and as well, City Planning has no objection subject to their recommended condition. So if I could get a motion on this application, please, Mr. Kidd.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I do have a question for the speaker, if I could.
Yes, Mr. Kidd.
According to the transportation report, you're actually reducing the size of the existing parking spot as a result of the renovations. I noticed the proposed. I can't tell the size of the existing parking spot, but the proposed parking spot is 18 feet in length, which is a substandard space for parking. Are you reducing the size of the existing parking space?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
And I'm not reducing the parking spot. We have only one vehicle, and then the garage is going to be extended forward 1.5 meters. It's only 3 feet. So basically, it's not reducing too much. It's a small variance, I would say.
So,
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Ms. Sankar?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I accept the explanations provided by the speaker here today, such that it doesn't give me any concerns about the transportation report. And as such, I'll put forward a motion to approve this application. I will follow the staff recommendation of September 29th in that the proposed 1.22 meter west side yard setback be limited to the proposed garage, as seen in the site plan drawing that was attached to the report. And that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second that motion? Someone to second that Ms. Sankar's motion? Okay, that motion doesn't carry. Can I get another motion, please? Mr. Khan?
Mr. Chair, before I make the motion, I would ask Mr. Ball that the recommendations made by the Transportation Services to remove or refuse item variance 2, variance 3, and variance 4. Does he agree with that? Or he wants to see the transportation work? That is not clear to me.
Mr. Khan, he's already answered that question. He's indicated that the driveway.
They are existing.
Yeah, he's indicating that he's not proposing to change the plan. He's basically enclosing an existing carport that's been there for a long time, and he's not changing any of the driveway dimensions because they've been there for a long time too. So he's not proposing to change that. So if I could just, we've had a motion to approve it from Ms. Sankar. She has, that motion did not carry. Can I get another motion?
In that case,
Mr. Kidd?
Mr. Chair, could I second the motion of Ms. Shankar?
Okay. Well, I'll need that motion again.
Again, okay, if Ms. Shankar wants to repeat, I will.
Ms. Sankar?
I shall repeat. I do believe that the explanations provided by the client, the applicant with respect to transportation is acceptable. And so I'll motion to approve this application subject to the staff report of September 29th, in that the proposed 1.22 meter west side yard setback be limited to the proposed garage as seen on the site plan drawing.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Mr. Khan seconds. You second, thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion, okay, that motion doesn't carry. Well, it's a tie. So I'll vote on this. I'll support Ms. Sankar's motion, and I think what the applicant's proposing has no significant negative impact on the neighborhood. The parking space interior-wise is still functional, so I'm going to move Ms. Sankar's motion. So that motion carries with the objections of Mr. Kidd and Mr. Hunt. Okay, thank you very much. Sir, we're now on item number, go back to item number 15, 42 Dinnick Crescent. We had held that up. There were some audio problems from the agent. Madam, are you there, Ms. Apostolou?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay, we'll have to proceed, madam. Your audio quality is not good, but we'll have to proceed. I'm just going to ask the committee.
Mr. Chair, I was putting a question which has not been replied by the lady.
Okay, this is item number 15, 42 Dinnick Crescent. And this is about the floor space. So you had the question about the floor space index, the justification.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That's right.
Madam, if you could give us your justification for the increase in the floor space index.
Yes, the existing floor space index is already 0.428. What we are proposing is a small enclosure of a structure that exists in the backyard. It has a roof. It has a little half wall. It's a lanai, we're calling it, and we are enclosing that, and it is 30 square meters. So the addition that we are proposing is 30 square meters. We have letters from 5 neighbors, including both sides, the front and the rear, and another neighbor on the street who volunteered a letter of support without even asking for it. It's a one-story enclosure of an existing structure at the backyard.
Madam, I have to draw your attention that you already have a maximum lot covered area. You cannot be allowed what you are asking 0.465. According to the zoning bylaw that you have quoted, 10.20.40.40, and if you see the bylaw, zoning bylaw that you have quoted, it has a connotation of letter D in front of 35. So you cannot have, as you have applied, for the expansion of 0.465.
Mr. Khan, is there a question there? Do you have is there a question?
Speaking to me? Yeah, question is, the lot area is not a minor variance which she has applied.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Khan, because she's already given us her justification for the increase in the floor space. What other question do you have?
Okay,
There's
sir,
only
this
one
is my
variance before us. There are no staff
There
comments.
is only one variance, and that variance is not a minor one.
Okay, thank you. If I could get a motion on this application, please. Please note there are no comments from staff on this application. If I could get a motion, please. Ms. Sankar?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair. No, ordinarily, I'm not a fan of increasing the floor space index to this amount, but I can understand that the portion that's being increased, that's adding to this, is something that, I can understand and accept, as well as the fact that it's being supported by the neighbors. Now, I don't have those letters of support, but I will take it that they are there because no one's here representing anything negative against it, and nothing further from the staff reports. So I'm going to motion to approve this application as is.
Someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion. Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Mr. Khan dissenting. Madam, your application has been approved without condition. Thank you very much. Okay, item
Thank you.
number 17, 5 Yeomans Road. Now,
Good afternoon. My name is Rebutting.
I have one person registered to speak on this item. That is a Mr. Naghash. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon. Mr.
Sir,
Chairman,
very
and
hard.
thank you.
Sir,
Can you hear me?
sir, it's almost impossible to hear you. Do you have a number of audio devices turned on? If you have your speakerphone on, turn it off. If you have a computer turned on with the speakers on, turn them off too. Just speak into your phone. But we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
No, it's still muddy. Turn off your
Can you hear me now?
speakerphone.
It's off. Can you hear me now? Good afternoon. Can you hear me now?
Matt, sir, turn off your speakerphone. Just speak in, use it as a regular telephone.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Sir, I can't hear you.
Mr. Chair, the applicant needs to turn off, if he's watching this also via YouTube or WebEx on the computer, he needs to mute his computer as well.
Okay, Mr. Clapp, can you repeat that again? I missed it. Because we've got,
Can you hear me now? Good afternoon.
The issue, sir, is that we can hear you, but we have background feedback from one of your devices in the background.
Oh, okay. Take this one.
you've got 2 or 3 devices turned on, sir. You have to use only one.
Okay. How about now? Is it better?
No, sir.
I have no other device.
Sir,
can
how
you
many?
move on and I check?
Sir,
Yes.
okay, sir, what we're going to do, I'm going to, have you had the opportunity to read the city planning report of the 29th of September?
Yes, and we comply with that staff report.
Now, are you proposing to make the changes that were recommended in the city planning report?
Yes, we did have the changes done, and we submitted to planning staff on drawing dated September 8th. Can you hear me?
Sir, you have 2 audio devices on. We can't hear you. There's an echo in the background.
Can you hear me better now?
Can you speak again? No, there's the echo still in the background. We can't communicate with an echo in the background.
Can you
What I'm
hear me
going to
now?
do, sir, is I'm going to set this application down, figure out your audio issues, and I'll come back to you. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Item number 18.
Leave my phone, I called them.
Item number 18. 16 Daleberry Place, item number 18, is the applicant there. We have one person registered to speak, Mr. Ali Shakiri. Are you there, sir?
Mr. Chair, the WebEx platform is having issues right now, so we're gonna have to take a quick break.
Okay, we'll take another break. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We'll try and get this back as soon as possible.
You know, and I have to say, I was getting a little bit emotional when I was listening to.
Okay, everyone needs. Apologies, members. We had our Wi-Fi disconnect us, and we had to reconnect. So, I think we're good to go. Yeah.
My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Go back to item number 18, 16 Daleberry Place. And we have one person registered to speak. That's a Mr. Shakiri. Are you there, sir?
Yes, sir, I hear you well.
Okay, thank you, sir. I just wanted to ask, we had a report from Transportation Services. They have no objection to your proposal. We have no one else registered to speak on this item. You have two variances before us, one for lot coverage, the other one for vehicle access from a fronting street. Pretty clear what you're asking for. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments or would like a presentation. No. Again, there is no one registered to speak on this item. If I could get a motion, please. Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to make the motion. These are minor variances. Variance number 1, same lot coverage as before, and meets the neighborhood character, and variation number 2 by the transportation is okay. So it has to comply with the forestry conditions. Therefore, I would like to move that this application be approved.
Subject to urban forestry.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Someone to
Thank you,
second Mr. Khan's motion. Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application has been unanimously approved.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go back to item number 17, 5 Yeomans Road. Is Mr. Nagash there? Mr. Nagash, are you there? Mr. Nagash, are you there? He's not there. We'll go to item number 19, which is 27 Tangemere Road. We have one person registered to speak on this application. That's Mr. Cyrus. Mr. Cyrus, are you there?
Good afternoon. Yes, I am.
Mr. Cyrus, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, thank you, sir. Can I get your full name and address, please?
I'm Ryan Cyrus, 4789 Young Street.
Okay, thank you, sir. We have three variances before us from you, which relate one for lot coverage, side yard setback, and main wall height. Pretty clear what you're asking for. There are no, other than urban forestry, there are no staff comments on this application. I'll just ask the committee if it has questions or comments or would like a presentation. Being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Although there are no staff recommendation, I would like to move the variances are minor, meet the zoning bylaw intent and character of the neighborhood. Therefore, it should be approved with the forestry conditions applied.
Okay, thank you. Someone to second Mr. Khan's motion. Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries. Sir, your application's been approved, subject to urban forestry conditions.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Go back to item number 17, 5 Yeomans Road. Mr. Nagash, are you there? Mr. Nagash, are you there? Mr. Nagash is not there. Your indulgence committee members, we're just trying to get a hold of the applicant. Okay, talk.
Yes, hello?
You guys,
Can you hear me now?
wait. Speak loud.
Yes. Member of committee, good afternoon. My name is Babakar Atash. I'm representing the owner for this 5 Yeomans.
Okay, Mr. Nagash, I just wanted to ask, have you had the opportunity to read the city planning report of the 29th of September?
Yes, we have read it.
Okay, because
Yes,
they're
we have read it,
indicating,
and
they're indicating that you have agreed to make a reduction in the lot coverage from, let me just see here, 39.49% down to 35.4%. Are you proposing to change variance number 1 in accordance with that agreement?
yes, we did change it and we reduced the coverage
Okay, so you're proposing to change variance number 1.
on the drawing submitted on September 8th.
So the proposed lot coverage is changed from 39.49% to 35.4%.
Correct. It's been reduced to 35.4%.
Okay, thank you. There was also a recommended condition that if staff sees merit in the application, that it be approved substantially in accordance with the east elevation and west elevation drawings received on September 8th and submitted to the Committee of Adjustment as attachment number 1 and 2, I believe, as attachment number 1. So you're aware of that recommended condition?
Yes, we did comply with that as well, and we reduced the height on the east and west side.
Okay, thank you.
As per staff report on drawing submitted September 8th.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm just going to ask the committee, the variances you're asking for are very straightforward. I'll ask the committee, does it have any questions or comments? Okay, no questions or comments. There is no one else registered to speak on this item. Could I get a motion on the application, this revised application, please? Please note that variance number 1 has been changed so that the variance number one has been changed so that the lot coverage has been reduced from 39.49% to 35.4%. Could I get a motion on the application, the revised application, please, Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will take the staff recommendation, and variance number 1 has been modified to 35.4%. And proposal be substantially developed in accordance with the east elevation and west elevation drawings received on September 8, 2020, submitted to the Committee of Adjustment, and attachment number 1 and 2 to this report. And 3, comply with the forestry conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Someone to second that? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your revised application has been unanimously approved, subject to city planning and urban forestry conditions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for cooperating. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the committee, thank you so much. We'll see you at 1:30.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.